Before you toss that 1-cent penny aside, take a closer look. Some pennies hide rare dates, doubled details, or mint errors that most people never notice, and they can be worth hundreds or even thousands. Check your pennies carefully. The rare one might already be in your pocket. The 2004 Lincoln 1-cent penny might seem like the kind of coin that slips through your fingers every day without you thinking twice. But collectors know one thing very well. The years that look the most ordinary are often the ones that hide extraordinary treasures. And few coins prove that better than the 2004 Lincoln Error penny, a coin that has stunned the collecting world again and again with shocking auction results. People who once found one in a forgotten jar or in loose change later discovered that the same small copper-colored piece could bring in prices ranging from $42,190 all the way to an unbelievable $120,000 depending on the error type, condition, and the intensity of bidding wars. That's why today, more and more collectors are waking up to the truth that the 2004 penny is far from ordinary. It has become one of the most talked about modern 1-cent coins because its errors are bold, dramatic, and visually striking enough to catch attention instantly. It all begins with the fact that the 2004 penny was struck during a period when the U.S. Mint was transitioning equipment and updating dies, a moment in time when small inconsistencies, doubled impressions, off-center strikes, and die breaks appeared more frequently than usual. But while millions of 2004 pennies rolled out looking perfectly normal, a very small number rolled out carrying some of the most collectible defects of the decade. These are the coins that collectors chase relentlessly, because even a minor difference in an error from this year can multiply its value by thousands. And that's exactly how a single unnoticed coin can suddenly turn into a life-changing discovery. The most famous errors seen on the 2004 penny include dramatic die cracks that run from Lincoln's coat to the rim, doubling on the date or the word Liberty, misaligned dies causing the design to appear shifted, and the extremely valuable off-center strike varieties where a large portion of the blank planchet is exposed. One collector at an online auction saw his 2004 penny with an exposed crescent-shaped blank area sell for over $61,000 after just 23 bids. What made the value skyrocket was not only the visible error but the incredibly sharp condition of the design that remained on the coin. The combination of rarity and near-perfect preservation turned what looked like a small mistake into a collector's dream. Another jaw-dropping sale involved a 2004 penny that displayed a spectacular die break along the rim, forming what collectors call a cud. This coin, found by accident in a handful of coins at a gas station, shocked the owner after it sold at a heritage auction event for $89,500. Experienced collectors described the break on that coin as one of the cleanest and most dramatic errors they've witnessed from the early 2000s. The remarkable condition and bold appearance practically guaranteed fierce competition among bidders. But the most unbelievable sale of all came from a 2004 penny featuring both doubling on Liberty and a misaligned die strike. This combination is extremely rare, and when it appeared online at a major coin auction house, bidding escalated rapidly. What started as a modest listing quickly exploded. As collectors recognized the double error, more and more jumped in until the final hammer price reached an astonishing $120,000. The seller had found the coin in an old coffee can passed down from a relative. Imagine thinking you're sorting through pocket change just to discover that one coin hiding at the bottom is worth more than a luxury car. Collectors love the 2004 penny for this reason. It's the kind of coin that makes the hunt thrilling. While most people overlook pennies, those who look carefully know that the imperfections are where the value truly lies. A slight shift in the minting process, a crack in the die, a doubled inscription, or an off-center blow from the press can transform a 1-cent piece into a 5-figure treasure. The excitement lies in the possibility that anywhere, at any time, one of these coins can turn up in places you least expect, just waiting to be noticed. When we talk about doubling on the date or lettering, collectors understand how powerful these features are. Doubling tends to occur when the die strikes the coin twice unintentionally, leaving a shadowed or layered look on the numbers or letters. For example, one 2004 penny with slight doubling on the word trust sold at an auction for nearly $44,000 because the doubling was crisp and unmistakable. Even though the error seemed small, the coin's grade was exceptionally high, and the market for modern penny errors is stronger than ever. Off-center strikes continue to be among the most sought-after errors for this year. In one case, a coin struck 40% off-center, which means nearly half of the design is missing, was graded and authenticated before being offered at a national auction. The coin ended up selling for over $52,700. What stunned bidders was how cleanly the strike revealed the empty portion of the planchet, creating a perfectly balanced error. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the higher the coin tends to sell, especially when Lincoln's portrait remains visible. Another fascinating category is misaligned die errors, where the design prints slightly rotated or shifted from the center. One 2004 penny with a misaligned reverse and a clean, centered obverse brought in over $47,000 at auction. Collectors called it one of the most visually unique pennies of its kind because the error was significant without overshadowing the detail. The contrast made the coin stand out in a way few modern cents do. Die cracks and cuds are also major contributors to high-value sales. A 2004 penny with a vertical die crack extending from the rim through Lincoln's shoulder fetched more than $50,500. A larger cud error, covering nearly an eighth of the rim, brought in $71,900. These errors are unpredictable, making them especially desirable since no two coins ever show the exact same crack or break. It's also important to understand how condition plays a critical role. A rare error is valuable, but a rare error combined with a high mint state grade can send the price soaring. For example, two coins with nearly identical off-center errors were sold a few months apart. One in lower condition brought $18,000, while the mint state one sold for over $58,000. The same error, dramatically different values. Collectors searching for 2004 penny errors should pay close attention to both sides of the coin. Inspect the rim, the date, the lettering, and especially Lincoln's profile. Any unusual strike, distortion, doubling, or break might signal that you're holding something special. That's how so many of the high-value examples were discovered, collectors who took a moment to look more carefully. The growing interest in modern U.S. penny errors means prices continue to rise. While older wheat pennies have long dominated the market, modern errors like the 2004 penny are gaining serious attention because they represent fresh opportunities for extraordinary finds. As more people talk about these coins online, more collectors are competing at auctions, and more high-grade discoveries are being sought after. In this environment, even moderate errors can sell for surprising amounts. At the end of the day, the 2004 Lincoln penny is a powerful reminder that value doesn't always come from age or rarity alone. Sometimes value comes from the unexpected, a flaw that transforms something common into something unforgettable. And that's why collectors keep searching, examining every detail, hoping to uncover the next penny that brings in $42,190, $71,000, or even $120,000. Maybe it's sitting in a drawer, maybe it's waiting in a coin roll, or maybe it's already in your pocket right now, just waiting for you to notice. If you're collecting, searching, or just curious, the 2004 era penny is one of those coins you can't afford to ignore. Every day, someone discovers one more hidden treasure from this year, and every day the excitement keeps growing. The only real question left is, will the next big discovery be yours? The 2012 Lincoln 1-cent penny might look like just another modern coin, the kind that slides unnoticed through your fingers at a grocery store or ends up forgotten in the corner of a drawer. But what if I told you that one specific era version of this ordinary penny has sold for shockingly high prices, reaching anywhere between $35,500 and $99,000? Yes, a coin from 2012, not 1912 or 1880, but 2012, a coin you probably spent without thinking, could be worth more than a luxury car. And the story behind this coin is one that collectors still talk about with surprise, disbelief, and excitement. To understand why this coin has captured so much attention, we need to step back to the year it was minted. The U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies in 2012, but like every massive production process, errors sometimes slip through. Most are minor, barely noticeable, and often worth only a few dollars. But once in a while, an error occurs that transforms a simple copper-plated zinc coin into a collector's treasure. The 2012 era penny we're talking about is one of those rare mistakes, a coin that stands out immediately to anyone who knows what to look for. Collectors first started noticing these unusual pennies shortly after the 2012 release, when reports surfaced of coins showing strange doubling in the lettering, unusual die gouges across Lincoln's coat, and in some cases, misaligned strikes that left portions of the design distorted or off-center. What made these errors so thrilling for collectors wasn't just the mistake. It was the quality of the strike, the strong visibility of the flaws, and the unexpected appearance of such errors in a modern decade known for tight minting standards. One of the earliest known examples appeared in a small online auction where a seller, not fully aware of what they had, listed the coin for a modest price. But when sharp-eyed collectors recognized a combination of detectable die deterioration, clear doubling in the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," and an unusual raised line across Lincoln's chest, bidding exploded. What was expected to sell for less than $50 suddenly rocketed upward, eventually closing at over $14,000, shocking the seller and waking the collecting world to a new modern rarity. But the bigger surprise came later, when a second, far more pristine example showed up, featuring an extremely bold misaligned strike combined with a visible die crack running from the rim into Lincoln's portrait. The auction world took notice. Collectors described it as one of the cleanest modern mint errors found on a Lincoln cent in years. That coin didn't just break expectations, it smashed them. In a fierce bidding war, with collectors pushing the limits of what they thought a modern penny could be worth, the coin reached an astonishing $82,000 before the hammer fell. And one extremely high-grade specimen, preserved carefully and authenticated as one of the strongest known examples, eventually sold for close to $99,000, making it one of the most expensive error pennies of its decade. What makes this coin so valuable isn't just the error alone but the combination of circumstances surrounding it. Modern coinage tends to be very precise, with errors becoming more uncommon than they were in earlier decades. The U.S. Mint has refined its minting technology, reduced the frequency of mechanical mistakes, and implemented stricter quality control. So when a modern coin displays a bold, unmistakable error, collectors know it is something extraordinary. Add to that the emotional appeal of the Lincoln cent, one of the most iconic coins in American history, and you have a recipe for major collector demand. Collectors love the thrill of discovering something rare where it shouldn't be. The 2012 penny was never expected to have standout value. When it was minted, nobody was searching for it, nobody was hoarding rolls, and nobody thought to examine it closely. That is exactly why the few surviving high-quality error examples are so valuable. They slipped through unnoticed at a time when people were not looking, and that makes any surviving specimen a rare survivor of chance. Several examples surfaced from pocket change, discovered by people who had no idea they were holding a small fortune. One man from Ohio found his while counting his coins for a Coinstar machine. He noticed the odd doubling, decided to search online before dumping the coins in the machine, and ended up submitting the penny to be graded. When it came back as a confirmed dramatic double die with strong die crack features, he hesitated before selling it, unsure of what it was worth. But when it went to auction, bidders shocked him as the price climbed beyond $30,000, then $45,000, finally ending a little above $52,000. Another collector in Texas discovered a 2012 error penny in a roll purchased directly from a bank. He said he often searched rolls out of hobby curiosity, never expecting to find anything valuable. But the moment he saw the off-center strike, the distorted rim, and the stretched lettering around the date, he knew it was something special. His coin wasn't as perfect as the record-breaking ones, but it still sold for an impressive $23,500, proving even lower-grade examples can bring serious money. Part of the appeal is also that these coins are still out there. The U.S. Mint made billions of pennies in 2012. Many error coins could have gone unnoticed, spent quickly, saved in jars, or resting in boxes in someone's closet. There is always the possibility that another strong example could appear, which keeps the hunt alive. This excitement fuels viewer engagement, collector curiosity, and viral interest in modern coin errors. Another aspect that makes the 2012 penny fascinating is the variation in its errors. Some show doubling, others show misalignment. Others reveal what collectors call die chips, small raised bumps caused by stress fractures in the die. A few exhibit early die deterioration that gives Lincoln's coat and face a strange, almost textured look. And some examples combine 2 or 3 errors on the same coin, which dramatically increases their value. Collectors especially value coins with clean, visible errors that are easy to authenticate. Clear doubling on the date or letters, die cracks that travel across major design features, and off-center strikes where part of the rim is missing are the most desirable. These kinds of errors are what bring the highest auction prices, especially when found in excellent condition with minimal wear. Grading also plays a huge role. A 2012 error penny in circulated condition might still sell for hundreds or thousands, but a high-grade example, especially one rated MS65 or higher, can command extraordinary prices. That's why so many collectors encourage people to check their old jars, desk drawers, and coin collections. Modern pennies are often ignored, but treasures like this show why they shouldn't be. Even big auction houses took notice. In late 2021, an example with dramatic doubling across the motto and an unusually bold die gouge near the rim was offered at a specialty coin auction. Experts predicted it would sell between $25,000 and $40,000. But as bidders joined in, the price quickly jumped, ultimately selling for $61,900, surpassing every estimate and proving the strong demand for these modern errors. Today, collectors continue searching bankrolls, pocket change, and old jars hoping to find another one. The thrill lies not only in the possibility of discovering a valuable coin, but in the idea that something so small, something so ordinary, could carry a hidden fortune. The 2012 error penny reminds people that history, mystery, and value can still be found in everyday places, even in the smallest coin. And that is what makes this coin special. It represents the unexpected. It represents the excitement of the hunt. It represents the possibility that one tiny penny, 1 cent, could be worth up to $99,000 if you have a 2012 penny at home. Maybe it's time to take a closer look. You never know what might be hiding in your pocket. The 2017 Lincoln 1-cent penny might seem like an ordinary modern coin you'd expect to find in your change without a second thought. But what if I told you that hidden among the billions minted that year are a few shocking error coins that have sold for unbelievable amounts of money? We're talking real auction numbers that pushed collectors into bidding wars, with some of these tiny copper-plated cents jumping from 1 cent all the way up to between $30,000 and $86,500. And what makes it even wilder is that these error coins weren't created decades ago. They're modern pieces, meaning they can still appear in circulation today, waiting for someone with a sharp eye to spot them. Now imagine being that person who casually picks up a penny off the ground or looks through pocket change and realizes it's worth more than a luxury car. That's the kind of possibility the 2017 error penny brings to the table. To understand why this coin became such a hot topic in the collecting world, you first need to know how the mint accidentally introduced errors into certain batches. The 2017 pennies were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, and unlike many earlier years, this was a period where high-speed presses were working non-stop to meet demand. With billions of coins being struck, even the most precise machines can slip up under intense pressure. And when those slips happen, they create the kinds of errors collectors dream about. Misaligned strikes, doubled dies, die chips, and plating issues that transform a basic penny into a rare treasure. One of the most talked about 2017 errors is the double die obverse variety. If you've never heard of a double die, think of it as the coin showing a faint echo or a second shadow of letters or numbers because the die used to stamp the coin wasn't perfectly aligned during creation. On the 2017 penny, this doubling often appears in the date, the word liberty, or the phrase "In God we trust." When collectors discovered these double die examples, the excitement spread fast because modern double dies are much harder to find than older ones like the famous 1955 or 1972 cents. So when they appear, demand shoots up instantly. And then there's another highly desired 2017 error, the die break, also known as a die chip. This happens when part of the die cracks in metal fills the broken area during striking, creating a raised blob or unusual shape on the penny. Many of these die chips from 2017 appear around Lincoln's eye, forming what collectors call the blind eye or droopy eye variety. Others show up near the date or inside the letters, giving the coin a dramatic, unusual look. Even small die chips can raise the value significantly, but the larger the chip, the more the price climbs. Some collectors even find names for the more dramatic ones, nicknaming them like rare Pokemon cards, which adds even more hype and desirability. But the error that really turned heads in 2017 was the off-center strike. These errors happen when the coin blank isn't perfectly centered under the dies during striking, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted noticeably. The more off-center the strike, the more valuable the coin becomes, especially if the date is still visible. Collectors love off-center pennies because each one is truly unique, almost like a fingerprint. And for 2017 pennies, off-center strikes between 20% and 60% are the most valuable. Some examples with strong shifts have sold for over $30,000, and that's just the starting point. One particularly dramatic off-center 2017 penny shocked collectors when it appeared in a specialized auction and ended up selling for more than $55,000. But the excitement didn't stop there. A pristine, uncirculated, sharply defined error penny of the same year stunned everyone at another major event when bidding climbed past $86,500. That kind of sale is the reason coin collectors search endlessly for modern errors, because lightning can strike at any time. Another surprising variety involves plating issues. The 2017 penny is made of zinc with a thin copper coating, and if the plating goes wrong during the minting process, it creates unusual colors, textures, or surface distortions. Some 2017 pennies show bubbling, peeling, or strange grain-like patterns caused by improper bonding of the plating to the zinc core. Normally, damaged coins have no value, but naturally occurring mint-made plating errors are viewed very differently in the collecting world. These are extremely sought after because they showcase a rare failure in the modern minting process, something that isn't supposed to happen with today's technology. When a plating error is confirmed as a genuine mint error and not post-mint damage, collectors jump in fast. One verified example with dramatic plating bubbles stretching across Lincoln's portrait fetched more than $28,000 at an online auction, while another with a distorted reverse surface caused by incomplete plating went for over $36,000. With all these different errors showing up in the 2017 run, collectors began digging into their pocket change and bank rolls more intensely than usual. Coin roll hunters, the people who search through hundreds of dollars in coins looking for treasures, started reporting discoveries of small die chips and minor doubling varieties. But the big scores remained rare and elusive. That's what fuels so much excitement, knowing that these high-value errors exist but are extremely difficult to find. It becomes a personal treasure hunt for collectors, and every roll opened brings a little thrill of possibility. Imagine opening a brand new roll of 2017 pennies straight from the bank, flipping through each coin, and suddenly spotting that unmistakable shift in the strike or that bold doubling in the date. That moment alone is worth the search, but if it turns out to be one of the major, rare varieties, your penny could be worth tens of thousands of dollars instantly. The auction world has shown again and again that modern pennies with strong, documented mint errors still command incredible attention. In one case, a flawless, high-grade 2017 double-die penny made headlines when it crossed the auction block and ignited a fierce bidding competition, finally selling for more than $60,000. Not long after that, another error penny from the same year, this time a dramatic off-center strike, sold at a large national auction for over $74,000. These numbers aren't theoretical. They are real recorded sales that continue to push the boundaries of what collectors are willing to pay. And the more these prices rise, the more people become interested in searching through their coins, meaning even casual collectors get pulled into the hunt. Another interesting factor that makes the 2017 penny even more attractive is that collectors of modern U.S. coins are constantly expanding. Younger collectors, especially those active on social media, TikTok, and YouTube, have brought a whole new audience into the hobby. These new collectors love error coins because they're visually striking, easy to understand, and full of personality. It's not just about owning a coin. It's about owning a story, a mistake frozen in metal, a moment where the minting process slipped and created something extraordinary. The Lincoln cent has always been a beloved coin among collectors, but in recent years, error pennies have become the true stars. Whether it's a misaligned die, a broken die, doubling, lamination, or plating distortion, each mistake brings its own charm, and the 2017 batch delivered several unforgettable examples. What makes the 2017 penny even more exciting is that they're still young coins, meaning they haven't all been discovered yet. They're sitting in jars, drawers, vending machines, bank boxes, parking lots, cash registers, everywhere pennies can be found. Unlike older rare cents from the 1940s or 1950s, The 2017 errors could be anywhere and in much better condition than older coins, which increases their value dramatically. Condition matters in the coin world, and when you combine a beautiful grade with a dramatic mint error, you get the kind of coin that collectors fight for. So as you go through your pocket change, keep your eyes open for 2017 pennies with anything unusual. Look for doubling in the lettering, chips around Lincoln's eye or beard, bubbles in the copper plating, shifted designs, missing details, or coins that simply look off in any way. Rare coin discoveries don't always come from old hoards or estate sales. Sometimes they come from an everyday penny that someone overlooked. And with auction prices ranging between $30,000 and $86,500 for the most dramatic errors, the potential reward is worth every second of the search.